would now recognize Mr. Murr to lay out and explain House Bill 3739.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, members, this kind of gets in the weeds a little bit, so bear with me. On March 8th...
Okay, hold on a minute. We got a sub.
We have a sub.
So Mr. Murr lays out the substitute to House Bill 3739, and so the chair will recognize him for the purpose of explaining the substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On March 8th of this year, the Court of Criminal Appeals, that's the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, ruled that it is unconstitutional to allocate court costs received pursuant to Section 133.102 of the Local Government Code to two funds currently in statute, the Abused Children's Counseling Fund and the Comprehensive Rehabilitation Account number 107, because these funds are not being used in criminal justice matters. HB 3739 would eliminate reference to the Abused Children's Counseling Fund and the Comprehensive Rehabilitation Fund and simply redirect the percentages previously allocated to these funds to the Fair Defense account. As y'all all know, the Fair Defense account funds the grant program coordinated by the Texas Indigent Defense Commission, which I am a member. And these funds are distributed back to our counties to assist them in the costs of paying for indigent defense, which again is another unfunded mandate handed down by the state onto counties. Right now, the state of Texas covers an average of 12% of the costs of that. Last fiscal year, all counties, they spent over $216 million paying for court-appointed attorneys for criminal defendants in the state of Texas. And we currently pay about $30 million back to our counties for this. This is a growing unfunded mandate that we have, and these funds here would be redirected back to those counties through the grant process at the end, with the end game being that each of your counties would see an increase in the amount of grant funds that are sent back. Just so that I can clarify, the Court of Criminal Appeals opinion provides that quote, if the legislature redirects the funds to a legitimate criminal justice purpose, the entire consolidated court cost may be collected. If that occurs before the mandate issues, the only cases that will be affected by this opinion will be the few that are now pending in this court and are appropriate for relief, end quote. So there is a rider in the budget should HB 3739 pass the legislature. And the difference between this bill and the committee substitute is the filed bill was a non-ledge council draft and actually had an embedded error that has been corrected, which referred to the percentages of the overall court costs. And I'm happy to answer any questions, and I know that we'll have resource witnesses and other witnesses here to testify.
All right. Members, any questions?
And I reserve my right to close.
Terrific. All right. The chair calls Vincent Perez.
Good afternoon, members of the committee.
Please state your name and your position on the bill.
My name is Vince Perez. I have the privilege of serving as County Commissioner for Precinct 3 in El Paso County. This morning, my staffer and I took a short drive from El Paso to Austin to be here for this important bill.
And your position on the bill, please.
Was that?
Your position on the bill, please.
We in support.
All right.
We're very much in support of this bill, which has tremendous potential to increase indigent defense funding for counties. As you know, even though the right to criminal legal counsel for those who cannot afford it is a constitutional mandate, the cost of providing this falls on local property taxpayers. Currently, local property taxpayers, such as those in El Paso and most other parts of the state, shoulder approximately 90% of these costs. For counties with weak property tax bases, rural counties, this can often pose a significant challenge. I, along with my colleagues on Commissioners Court, fully support House Bill 3739 and any effort to improve the way in which our state funds and delivers indigent defense. We are deeply concerned about the $4.6 million decrease in appropriations in SB 1 for indigent defense. It is my firm belief that the current level of funding for indigent defense is not only inadequate, it also creates significant disparities in the cost and delivery of services. Before you is an informational chart that shows the cost of providing indigent defense by all the counties that the members of this committee represent. While the chart demonstrates the significant funding gaps that currently exists among both rural and urban counties, it does not show is the property tax disparities that exist among these counties. On average, from fiscal year 2012 to 2015, the rural counties had to increase their tax rate at a rate that was 3 times greater than that of the urban counties. Among the 22 counties represented there, the average tax rate for rural counties is 45 cents, while the tax rate for urban counties stands at almost half of that, at 23 cents per $100 evaluation. Any measure that can be taken to reduce the burden for indigent defense under a property tax-based system is greatly appreciated. I thank you for your time, and we'll answer any questions if you have any.
Members, any questions? Yes, Mr. Murphy.
Commissioner Perez, thank you for traveling halfway across the state of Texas to be here. We are all grateful that you take an interest in this. Can you just clarify, do you know approximately how much your county receives in grant funds back from the state as far as whenever you make a request for court-appointed attorneys?
You know, I don't know the exact on hand. I just know that it is about 9 cents on the dollar. We pay approximately $13 million a year in indigent defense costs.
Okay. And so the other thing I clarify for committee members is currently I think budgeted, it's been historically $30 million the last biennium. Right now we're talking about doubling that. So that would be a pretty substantial amount of money coming back to El Paso County, and we sure appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Any other questions, members? All right.
That was the plan. We'll probably spend the night and go back tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. The chair calls Robert Johnston.